playing some really good football as well. There always seemed to be a man available to take a pass, and this move ended with a John Henry shot being touched away by Bullock, although from the main stand you could see it was going well wide. Still no sign of much from County at this stage, but that was to change second half. Falkirk continued to look for a second. McQuilkin thwarted here, and Henry's effort blocked for a corner. Well, County came out fighting after the break, and Mark McCulloch was probably the best player on the field. This effort from the number 6, very close to being the equaliser. Caretaker boss Danny McDonald had thrown on Alex Bone at the break, and County were looking to get the ball forward to him as often as possible. He didn't score, but this was a half chance late on. Falkirk should have tied it up though when their sub Colin Samuel was one-on-one with Bullock. The keeper won this argument, but from the resulting corner, Falkirk secured all 3 points. Lee Miller rising above everyone to score his 9th of the season, level now with the corner provider, Owen Coyle. I suppose at the end of that match you'll just be happy to get the 3 points.
Yes, I thought the game should have been over at half time, but Ross County were very spirited. It often happens if a manager leaves, and I'm sure their new manager, whoever it is, will hope to play like that every week.
I suppose it's been a very difficult week for you because Ross County and Neil Cooper have been through a lot together.
Yeah, difficult week personally and difficult week for the club, but we've got to move on. That's football and we've got to move on, and we're looking forward to the next phase of Ross County. We've got great plans, and we look forward to someone coming in the football side and leading us.
Was it purely Neil's decision, or did you have a chat about it?
No, it was Neil's decision. Just felt there was nothing left in the tank, and he's a great guy, honourable guy, and he felt for the best thing of Ross County, it'd be better just to go at that stage, and he was great.
County Chairman Roy McGregor there. Well, Owen Coyle's with me here in the studio. Good victory for you yesterday. They made it tough for you, especially second half.
They certainly did, and they carry on playing like that. There's no doubt that they're going to go and beat teams in our division comfortably. I felt at the start of the season they were going to be one of the challengers for the title. I think they've probably got as good a squad of players, as most teams in the division. So whoever comes in, I think it's a fantastic job for them. Yeah,
well, you got a good start yesterday, Lee Miller, and as I said in the voiceover there, he's catching up with you.
Yeah, and I hope he continues it. I think we've been trying to encourage him to get in the box even more. You see there his physical presence. He's a big lad, 6'2", fantastic in the air. And if he adds goals to the rest of his game, we're going to play at a higher level. There's absolutely no doubt about that.
At that point, Owen, would you expect to have gone on and scored more goals because you had plenty of chances first half? Yeah,
we did in numerous chances. I think Bullock, to be fair, had a couple of good saves. And while it's 1-0, the opposition's always in the game. And obviously it was very late on when we got the second one, so it was far from being a comfortable victory. All credit to Ross County. As I said, if they show that spirit and that determination every week, they'll rise up the league.
Because they did have opportunity to score, didn't they?
Well, that's right. And fortunately for us, we've got, for me, the best keeper in the division, Alan Ferguson. And we know that if we get a goal at the other end, it'll take something special to beat Alan. And that's how it proves. You see there, so agile, and we see that day in, day out. Fantastic goalkeeper.
Now, the what I call the winning goal, but it was the goal that secured the 3 points. You were taking the corner. Why was that? Well,
Craig McPherson normally delivers our set pieces, and he's got a fantastic delivery. He was off the park at that time, and maybe naturally left-sided. I went out to, and saying that's not a bad delivery itself. So, but as I say, you see there, Lee must be easy, 7.5 foot in the air there, knocking that in. And I'm thrilled to bits for him. Hopefully he'll continue that.
A lot of interest in that Ross County job. 29 applicants, we understand already. A wee bit early for you?
Yeah, I was actually asked did I want to put my CV in for the job, so I was flattered at that. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic job for anybody. It's a great setup. They've got great plans for the future. I know for a fact one of the applicants is my friend John McGinley, obviously Scotland's internationalist, and he would do a fantastic job up there from the Highlands. And so you never know. Well,
we'll keep our eye on that. Owen, thanks very much indeed. Now let's just confirm the full-time scores in those two Bank of Scotland Scottish.
Mascots Emma Strathdee and Natalie Steele lead out the teams at Broadwood, with Clyde looking to make this a gala day. A lot will depend on the performance, of course, but their recent record is good, just one defeat in the last 10 games. They welcome back player-manager Alan Kernahan. More importantly, Pat Keogh returns to the side from injury. He's joint top scorer with Colin Nish on 5 goals. Well, despite the form of Inverness and Clyde, Falkirk still lead the division. Ian McCall's men have lost just 3 games all season and they're unbeaten in the last 5. They've managed 5 shutouts in the last 9 games, and although he hasn't played in every game, Alan Ferguson has been impressive and indeed saved a penalty the last time these two met. And the referee at Broadwood is Hugh Dallas. First place third at Broadwood with a lot at stake. A Falkirk win would see them 11 points ahead of today's opponents. Victory for Clyde tightens things up at the top of the table. It was close at Brockville, and we're expecting another tight encounter here today. And both sides, I'm sure, will appreciate the value of an early goal here. It's well played by Lee Hines on the far side into the penalty area. John Hughes gets the ball clear, but it's a mistake by the Falkirk defence in the end. A very good save indeed from Alan Ferguson. Clyde baring their teeth right at the very start of this game. Now Steve Tosh running at the Clyde defence. Takes three players out. Owen Coyle with a shot. And at full stretch, Bryn Halliwell puts it out for a corner. Well, there's the best of Steve Tosh driving into defence. The pass infield for Owen Coyle, and only one thought in his mind, left foot shot, and a very good save indeed by Halliwell. Keogh picks up now for Clyde, plays the ball forward for Nish. Nish tight in the touchline. It's well done by Colin Nish. He may well have a try from there. Oh, and Ferguson had to look alive. In fairness, it was always straight at the goalkeeper, but that a sign of the growing confidence of the man on loan from Dunfermline. Simon Mensing forward, Colin Nish meeting the sandwich, says Hugh Dallas, and a free kick for Clyde, quickly taken. Hagan now space at the edge of the penalty area. Lee Hines with his shots, and that's a great goal for Clyde. They take the lead against the league leaders. Well, that one came about from the quickly taken free kick. David Hagan found himself with space at the edge of the area. As he was closed down, he found Lee Hines, and the first time shot rifled into the bottom corner of the net. Clyde lead Falkirk by 1-0. Hagan bursting forward. He's got Nish on his right. Hagan might go himself. Nish, good run, and a chance for Clyde for number 2. Well, Colin Nish missed the ball completely, but it was his run as well as the run from David Hagan that made that chance for Clyde. Nish had made the diagonal run. The pass came to him, but in the end, unable to take advantage. It's a good run by John Fraser. Fraser into the middle. Hines can't quite get to that. But Clyde will take the corner. More danger then for Falkirk. Jack Ross sends a corner in. Comes out, edge of the area for Lee Hines. Good shot, and a carbon copy of goal number 1. It's now goal number 2 for Clyde and for Lee Hines. Exactly the same position, the ball went into the same place, rifled into that bottom corner. Lee Hines, the man who has made it 2, and Clyde now with a valuable lead over Falkirk. It's now Clyde 2, Falkirk 0. Lee Miller picks up the break of the ball. Miller, chance to shoot. Oh, and that was as close as you can get from Lee Miller. Bryn Halliwell's fingertips taking it over the crossbar. And Lee Miller can only look on and wonder about how that didn't find the net. Tosh clears his lines. John Henry trying to make something of it as the half-time whistle goes here at Broadwood. And it's been probably a half that's been better than the expectations of Alan Kernahan and his men, because they lead by 2-0. Lee Hines striking in the 21st and 27th minute, identical goals, and what it means is at the half-time at Broadwood, the leaders are losing. It's Clyde 2, Falkirk 0. So, will Falkirk find a way back in this game? They trail by those 2 goals from Lee Hines in the first half. We'll see if the half-time team talk from Ian McCall does anything for his players. Certainly they'll have to be on their toes a bit more this half. And there was just something not quite right about them in that first 45 minutes. Hughes forward, Miller flicked on. Samuel now with a shot. That was as good a chance as Falkirk have had all day. Colin Samuel with a shot inside the penalty area. Bryn Halliwell down quickly, and a good save. Tosh with space in front of him. It's closed down very quickly. And the pass never going to reach Lee Miller. This time Miller might get the ball. Mensing with him. Mensing seemed to be holding him back, and Hugh Dallas, in fact, has given the free kick the other way. So Falkirk down to 10 men at the moment as John Hughes receives treatment for a cut in the head. And they're still trying to find space as Mackenzie looks for movement ahead. And now Tosh. He'll maybe take this himself, Stevie Tosh. Fires it in, Halliwell with a good save. And once more, Brent Halliwell to the rescue for Clyde. Convery now for Fraser. John Fraser done well. That looked as if it could have been a penalty. Hugh Dallas said no. Well, the challenge came in. Fraser went up in the air, and Hugh Dallas decided that will not be a spot kick. Clyde in midfield and defence have been strong the whole game, and now there's a chance for Jack Ross to run at the Falkirk defence. Scott Mackenzie has come along. Ross getting the better of him. Mackenzie stuck to his task well. He's given away a corner, but that's good defending by Scott Mackenzie. And certainly showing a good turn of pace. So David Hagan will take this one and swing it in towards that penalty spot. Out it comes, and almost a chance for Ross to get the shot in. Forward by Fraser, nobody really there except a Falkirk jersey, but and again only as far as Steve Convery, and there could be trouble now for Lee Miller. There's a straight red for the Falkirk number 8. There's all sorts of trouble potentially on the field. Players are angry. The challenge was a bad one, and all sorts of players arguing with each other out there. And Coyle. McQuilkin. Chipped in, looking for Samuel. There's a chance here for Falkirk, all right, but the flag is up on the far side. The ball might be in the net, but it won't count. It's Falkirk still look to come forward, look to cause problems, and still the wall of white shirts stands firm. Clyde have had an exceptional defensive second half. And now Lee Hines, Fraser makes the run. He's clearly onside. He's got Nish unmarked in the middle if he can turn, but I think he's quite happy to keep the ball up there. And they'll win the free kick. Well, these Falkirk fans have seen enough. The free kick won't be taken because Hugh Dallas picks up the ball. And the damage, as far as Falkirk were concerned, all took place in the first half. 2 goals from Lee Hines. In the second half, it was all Falkirk, but Clyde held out, and Lee Miller being sent off didn't help the cause. But it's been a good win that takes Clyde to within 5 points of the league leaders. Clyde 2, Falkirk 0.
You know, we knew we were on a good run. We have been playing some good football as well as competing. And because we were at home, obviously, we've got a good record here this season. I think we've only lost once. We knew it was really important to start the game well. We did that, you know, we had a chance early on, forced a couple of corners. Then obviously Lees went on and taking his 2 goals brilliantly.
I thought they played very well in the first half. We played well in the second half. But I've got to say, I think it was more to do with me and the players. I got the tactics wrong today, without a doubt. So I think I take most of the blame for the result.
Well, Ian McCall taking the blame. Let's hope this man's going to take the praise. Alan Kernahan, Clyde player manager. You must have enjoyed that.
Very much so. It was good, as Jack Russ was saying, it was good to keep the run going. That's what 8 results on the bounce we've had without losing. So as long as that continues, then we'll be in with a shout towards the end of the season.
And your home form is excellent, isn't it?
Well, form everywhere has been great. Yeah. The start of the season, we had a bit of a frustrating patch, and we hope that's our bad patch for the season out, because the last 10 games have been brilliant.
So we're taking you seriously as title contenders then, are we?
Well, I hope so. Yeah. Hope so. That's what we started out the season to be. And I said the first 6 or 7 games were frustrating, but we're in with a shout now.
2 great strikes from Lee Hines yesterday. Let's see them again. You were obviously on the pitch. How did you see them?
Well, the first one took a slight deflection. I think it's come off John Hughes' backside.
Yeah.
It hasn't deviated the ball much, but I think it's blinded Alan Ferguson. And the second one's near enough a carbon copy of it. Maybe even better strike, actually.
Yeah.
It's a good setup by Paddy. And he just gets his bazooka out and smashes it.
Do you encourage players to take a pop at goal, or is that just something that happens?
I think that's what causes our frustration. Towards the end of this, towards the start of the season, because we were wanting to pass and maybe play too pretty a football.
Yeah.
And we weren't taking our chances. But now, sort of, everything we seems to hit seems to go in.
Yeah, a lot of angry Falkirk fans on about Hugh Dallas yesterday. Stephen Learmonth, Ian Brown and Christopher Patterson. That was the first penalty claim. I think it was a bit 50-50 there.
Well, I think you see Lee's got hold of Simon's shirt, and then it's a bit of nothing really. And I have no complaints about that either.
Yeah. It's possibly accentuated it a little bit.
Yeah, maybe so, but as I say, I've got no complaints at all.
Yeah, and Falkirk went down to 10 men. Lee Miller. It looked like a rash striker's challenge, didn't it?
Yeah. I spoke to Ian after the game, and did he think it was a bad tackle? And I says, well, I thought it was a bad challenge. Whether it deserved a straight red or not, I don't know. But I think he hasn't done himself any favours, really.
I suppose if you think where Hugh Dallas is watching that from, he probably thinks it looks worse than it is.
Yeah. I think watching it, there is contact, but maybe not as bad as it looked at the time.
Yeah. Onwards and upwards then for Clyde. Do you have a strong enough squad to go all the way, Alan?
Well, we hope so. We've got sort of 7 or 8 players on the sidelines champing at the bit, waiting for a game. And they'll be needed at some stage, and hopefully they can come in and continue the work that's being done at the moment. And then, I think we should be thereabouts towards the end of the season. Okay, well done yesterday. We'll talk more later. Well, after Neil Cooper's resignation last week, it was all change at Ayr United. Johnston at home to Falkirk. A vital match for the home side if they were to keep in touch with the 3 title contenders above them. Ian McCall in his usual position yesterday, but Scotsport understands the Bairns boss is definitely on the shortlist to replace Ebby Skovdal at Aberdeen, even though Eric Black is being widely touted as the #1 choice. If the call does come this week, McCall will be allowed to speak to the Dons, and if that happened, he'd be unlikely to say no. Well, the Falkirk fans know McCall will have to move on sometime, but they'll be hoping he can stay till the end of the season at least. This was a huge match yesterday, and a Chris Hay chance early on for Saints. He was denied by ex-St Johnstone keeper Alan Ferguson. And it was St Johnstone who had the next real scoring chance in this game when the ball fell to Chris Hay again. This time, he shot over the bar. Just before half-time though, a real chance for Falkirk to take the lead. Saints should have cleared, and Steve Tosh probably had more time than he thought. Into the second half, and Falkirk's Kevin James tested Alan Main with a dipping header from a corner. And a few minutes later, the same trick with a free kick, and Falkirk were a goal ahead. James the scorer, and the big man signing off before a hip operation with what could be a vital strike in Falkirk's season. Sadly for Falkirk though, Steve Tosh celebrating the goal just a bit too much for Dougie McDonald's liking, and a red card meant he had to walk. Tosh was later shown another red card in the dressing room and faces a lengthy ban. Well, Saints tried to convert their one-man advantage into an equaliser, but Paddy Connolly's run and Ryan Stevenson's header found Ferguson in top form once again. And at the other end, Falkirk were still going for a second goal. Nice play from Colin Samuel here. He gets the ball back in the end, and when he was chopped down in the box by Jim Weir, the big man knew that second yellow card for him meant he was heading off to join Steve Tosh. Dougie McDonald's cards will be worn out soon after his red and yellow flurry at Easter Road last weekend. No doubt about this penalty award. But watch this. Owen Coyle fails to convert. Good save by Alan Main. Well, that could have been a lifeline, but what about this for a missed opportunity late in the game? It looked like an easy conversion, but Ryan Stevenson somehow managed to poke it wide. 1-0 to Falkirk.
And remember all the after-match interviews at the website. Tom Patterson emails us to say he's not happy with Dougie McDonnell's performance in that game yesterday. If managers are being sacked for their team not performing, it's about time the referees were as well. OK, let's see those other 3 matches now, starting with the game at Alloa, which featured the return to management.
Falkirk were clear favourites, but if they were expecting an easy afternoon, Money McDowell soon had them thinking otherwise. Falkirk, of course, have been desperate to get back to top spot since losing it to Cali Thistle, so they knew they required nothing less than full points. John Henry almost did his bit for the cause here. Colin Samuel, we know, has attracted the interest of bigger clubs, and if he wants a move in the transfer window, his timing couldn't have been better. This is the kind of goal that gets you noticed. Power and pace are always in demand, and he's got the skill to go with it. And Falkirk really should have been further ahead at the break. Arbroath surviving once more, and in the second half they had Craig Hinchcliffe to thank for keeping them in the game. So, missed chances by Falkirk, and you know what happens if you miss chances in football? Well, Darren Spink supplied the inevitable with a wonderful piece of skill. I'm not sure if he and his teammates can quite believe it, but look again, Darren, and I'm sure this is one game that won't be taped over on your video. The backlash came, of course. Colin Samuel will still be wondering how he didn't score here. But if Samuel was disappointed, and when all else fails, you can always count on Owen Coyle. Never misses from 3 yards, this man, and that was that as far as the goals and the points were concerned. There was time for one last piece of heroics from Hinchcliffe, and after the game, Ian McCall was in a meeting with his chairman, leaving the after-match summary to his assistant, Gordon Chisholm.
Over the piece, I think we deserved the 3 points. I think we made a number of opportunities today. I thought their keeper made some exceptional saves, you know. I think if we could have killed it off earlier, then it might have been a different game, but they kept at it. Credit to them.
Yeah, and we're assured that the floodlights were on at Brockville. Ross Jackson, who's a Ross County fan, says he thinks the appointment of Alex Smith is great, and he says it's only a matter of time before. David McKinney.
Not just game of the day, this could be seen as a game of the season so far, as the leaders take on the former leaders. Falkirk are defending the only 100% home league record in Scotland, and of course they've overtaken Cali Thistle to reclaim top spot. Ian McCall brings back 9-goal striker Lee Miller from suspension, and there was recognition for his efforts when he was named in the under-21 squad for the trip to Portugal next month. Cali Thistle will be hoping to show there's life after Steve Patterson. Graham Bennett takes charge, and the only change he's made is an enforced one. Charlie Christie replacing the suspended Russell Duncan. Only 2 players have scored here at Brockville in the league this season, and Cali's top scorer Dennis Winus will be hoping to add his name to those of Darren Spink and Paul Kane before the afternoon's out. And referee for the big game here is Kenny Clark. The 2 best teams in the Bells First Division slug it out for top spot with just 1 point separating them. So the stakes are high here at Brockville, and there's plenty of firepower on both sides to suggest we'll see goals this afternoon. Through ball finds Barry Robson. There could be danger here for Falkirk if Robson can keep on his feet. He was well tracked by Jamie McQuilkin. On this near side is Ross Tokley. Early chance now to get the ball into the area for Inverness, and that's an astonishing start to this game because Inverness are ahead, and that's an own goal from Scott McKenzie. It's surely beyond the wildest dreams of Graham Bennett. The ball went out wide for Tokley as he sent it in. There was Scott McKenzie stretching for the ball. All he could do is put it past his own goalkeeper, Alan Ferguson, and Inverness take an early lead. It's Falkirk 0, Inverness 1. Rennie, long ball, looking for Colin Samuel. Samuel, he's got space, he's got Owen Coyle up with him and John Henry, and it goes, comes to Lee Miller at the far post, great save. The follow-up with John Henry was wide, but that goes down as a very good save by Mark Brown. Good effort by Miller at the far post, took it first time, Brown did well. And Falkirk coming close to an equaliser. Owen Coyle trying to turn, eventually gets a chance to do so. It's a good run by McQuilkin, well found by Coyle into the middle and away by Bobby Mann. All the big men up for Falkirk now. Hughes, Rennie both there, and Miller with a header off the line, and that is another corner. Lee Miller attacked the ball well, looked as if it was going in, but cleared off the line, and another chance. Get the ball into the middle from the corner. Another header by Miller. This time it was won by Richie Hart, and it's a third corner for Falkirk. Now Falkirk coming forward. And a free kick, says Kenny Clark. So once more the chance to get that ball into the penalty area. In comes the free kick. Back out to the edge. Mark Kerr puts it in now. Samuel is there a chance to get the ball into the Falkirk forwards. I think he'll be quite happy to take the corner in this instance. Concentration in the middle as the corner is about to come over. Craig McPherson swings it in. It'll come back out to the Falkirk number 10. Now going to the byline. Good cross this time. Is there a header for Falkirk? Has come from John Hughes, and Falkirk are level. Well, John Hughes got above everybody inside that penalty area. The cross from Craig McPherson was perfection, and Big Yogi was up to make it 1-1. Ball swung in, it's come back out again. Kerr with a shot, that wasn't far away from the left-hand post of Mark Brown. Snapshot from Mark Kerr. Brown could only watch it whistle past his left-hand post. Wyness has done well, good turn Dennis Wyness. He's more or less on his own at the moment though, he will need some help. Ross Tokley comes over, Wyness finds space, gets it into the middle, away by Rennie. Richie Hart there trying to help the ball on. Mark Kerr clears. Robson finding it very difficult to do anything here by Robson. This is a good run from the number 11. Indeed brought down. And that will be a free kick for Inverness in a very interesting situation. Robson checks out. It'll be Richie Hart or Bobby Mann. Richie Hart comes up to take it. McBain's back header, all sorts of problems at the back there being caused by the pace of Colin Samuel. Eventually the ball safe in the arms of Mark Brown. Long ball forward looking for Wyness. Scott McKenzie has done well, so too has Alan Ferguson. Falkirk calm things down, get the ball forward. Certainly McQuilkin. Kerr trying to do so. It's a loose ball from Kerr. Now a real chance for Inverness. Could this be number 2, Barry Robson? Down he goes. And that's a great save from Alan Ferguson. He showed safe hands there. He timed the interception to perfection. Never a chance of a penalty. And that goes down as a great save from Ferguson. It could have been so much worse for Falkirk. And John Henry now. Mark Kerr. Kerr's tackled and beaten. Good challenge by Wyness. Christie looking for some help. Tokely provides a target on this side, and Tokely now back for Mann. And then Golobeck, and now Roy McBain. Certainly better signs for Inverness in the last few minutes. As Lee Miller came forward, he was tripped. McPherson flights in the free kick. Miller doesn't get his head to the ball, comes out for John Henry. Stephen Rennie can't quite get the shot in the turn as the half-time whistle goes here at Brockville, and certainly Falkirk have been the more composed side throughout this first half. They haven't allowed Inverness Caledonian Thistle to settle on their early lead. That early lead came from a Scott McKenzie own goal. John Hughes pulled it back to give us a half-time score here of Falkirk 1, Inverness 1. So all square at Brockville. The next 45 minutes will determine who leads the Bells First Division this week. Falkirk responded well to Kelly's opening goal, but signs at the end of the first half that the Highland side can still be dangerous. So it's all to play for over the next 45. So Stephen Rennie, the target once more is Lee Miller, got his head to it. Owen Coyle trying to get in there, but Roy McBain in first. The pass back and straight into the path of Dennis Wyness, and that goes down as a real chance for Inverness. Dennis Wyness can't quite believe the ball didn't go into the net, but the pass back gave him the perfect opportunity. He put the ball over the head of Alan Ferguson, but also over the crossbar. Well, the 1-2 didn't work out. Owen Coyle trying to get something moving for Falkirk. He's done well. It's Mark Kerr for Samuel. Nice move by Samuel. Good feet. Owen Coyle, a chance for Falkirk. It's come back off the post, but the flag was up on this near side. Owen Coyle caught offside. Kerr threaded through for Coyle. A chance now for Falkirk. Good speed shown by Stuart Golobeck. He tidied up well. Grant Monroe will complete the clearance. Still Falkirk come forwards. Still a chance. Samuel could direct the header goalward. It was a decent ball in. Colin Samuel in space. And his header ended up some 6 yards wide, but that was a real chance for the home side. Yes. Now Roy McBain on the run down the left, but challenged by Lee Miller. That's good tracking back by the number 8 for Falkirk, and now Wyness, the number 8 for Inverness. Swung it across, but Miller in late. There'll be a foul. And Lee Miller just back from suspension. The last thing he needs is a yellow card. There's plenty of white shirts up looking for this one as Robson sends it in, and the header into the side net. And some of the Inverness players with hands on heads. That was a real chance. Ross Tokely getting his head to the ball, but into the side net. Care for McQuilkin. Jamie McQuilkin chips it in. Again, the wall of white shirts stands firm, but now Inverness on the break. Robson. John Hughes with him. Hughes has done well, but Robson still there. The two of them go down, and Robson, I think, was looking for a penalty there. Certainly made his feelings known to Kenny Clark, the referee unmoved. Now McQuilkin. Falkirk trying to get the ball into the penalty area. There's still a chance for a winner for either side here. Lee Miller got his head to the ball, couldn't direct it goalwards. And the final whistle at Brockville. It's very much a case of as you were at the top of the Bells First Division. The top two all square at the end of 90 minutes. Early goal for Inverness from Scott McKenzie with the own goal. John Hughes making it one each. That's the way it stayed Falkirk probably had most of the game. Certainly Inverness had the best of the chances, but the final score, Falkirk 1, Inverness 1.
I think it was apparent to everybody here that we'd completely dominated the game from start to finish. We managed to keep two of their top players quiet. If it wasn't for the big boy there, Bobby Mann, I think we'd have scored a lot more goals. I thought he held them together.
Your first goal of the season, what a time to score it.
Yeah, I was in the dressing room before the game, and Gordon Chisholm was noising me up saying that I've not scored it this year, and I says to him I always score important goals, and so when I scored I was over to Chiz again on my wave.
Graham, how was your first taste in the dugout here today?
Wow, what an intimidating atmosphere for my first taste. A fantastic game of football, a testament to the first division. You know, the atmosphere here today was electric. 4,500 people. I think our boys were fantastic today, dealt with it after a traumatic week for the club.
The transfer window is coming up. Can you give us an indication of how many players would you maybe look to see if you can bring here?
Well, Stephen Craig's going to be leaving the club with our best wishes, and David Nichols is definitely coming on loan from Dunfermline. Jimmy Caldwell's been fantastic, so he'll be definitely one of them that's joining us on January the 1st. We hope to have one or two others.
Ian McCall, Graham Bennett and John Hughes giving us their views after the match. Falkirk's own Coyle is with me here in the studio. And up in our Aberdeen studio, Barry Robson. Barry, first of all, I think we should stress that you haven't transferred to Aberdeen just yet.
No, it's just speculation at the minute. The way that everybody's been saying that the manager's going to try and take me away, I'm in Dennis, but it's all speculation, and I don't think the manager's got a lot of money to spend, and also that we're quite happy at Inverness at the minute, and we've got a title to try and win.
You had your Christmas party last night. We'll not talk about that. How much did you enjoy the game yesterday? It was a great game to watch.
Oh, it would have been a great game to watch. It was a great atmosphere in the at Brockville yesterday, but in saying that, for likes of myself and Dennis in the attacking sense, it wasn't really a great game for us to play in. I think Falkirk put us under a lot of pressure at times, but if you look back at the game, I think the most three clear-cut chances was from Inverness.